This is News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell. News 25, local news you can count on. News is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Give them a call, 727-9900. Today's news is also brought to you by Gunny's Air Conditioning and Heating. New service and repair. Call Gunny's 775-727-6800.
Welcome. So glad you could join us here on News 25 on KPVM TV and Ace Country Radio. Today is Thursday, September 29th. Well, a civil court case hearing convened this morning in Judge Robert Lane's courtroom. The judge and prosecution were surprised that they learned about a case that had just been filed in bankruptcy court that has now put a spin on a custody battle over 300 Caucasian shepherds. This morning, the attorneys for the ASPCA, veterinarians, animal control officers, deputies, animal control shelter staff, the sheriff, defense counsel, prosecutors, animal rights activists, defendants, media, court staff, and more gathered once again for answers concerning 300 dogs in limbo that have been confiscated and are in the care and custody of the Nye County Animal Shelter. The animals were found to be in horrific living conditions, sick, injured, and dying, many already deceased on properties in Amargosa and Pahrump. On August 23rd, the owner and caretaker of Alpha Kennels, Vasily Platonov, and his ex-wife, Oksana Higgins, were arrested for animal cruelty and neglect. Nye County Animal Control said that they could face hundreds of charges, but Nye County District Attorney Chris Arabia said that is now down to a mere 5 at this point. Today in court, another blow for the individuals who wanted to remove the animals from their alleged abusers. Platonov and his attorney Thomas Gibson said that Platonov has now filed for bankruptcy, a move that has now made it so that all the property owned by the defendant is now in bankruptcy court. This means that the dogs are now in the bankruptcy filing because they are property. So now the custody case is now on hold until the bankruptcy case is settled. District Court Judge Robert Lane asked the defense and prosecution to make a new date in a few weeks for a status check on the bankruptcy case, and the dogs will remain in the care and custody of the county.
So the last order that was entered by the court, which was the emergency order, will stay in effect. The county will keep the dogs and keep caring for them and paying for it. At some point we'll have this disposition hearing. The state just said 3 weeks they're going to file a motion with the bankruptcy court to be allowed to go forward with the disposition hearing. We don't know if that'll take 3 weeks or 2 months, but whenever they say, okay, you can go ahead and do the disposition hearing, you'll then need to notice your witnesses. So if you'll work together with Mr. Gibson and me, if you need it, to pick a new date, we'll do that once you get the okay from the bankruptcy court. We'll continue with the emergency motion until then. I don't know how much this is costing the county to pay for all these dogs, but good luck to you on that.
Well, fire and police investigators are looking into who is responsible for setting a building on fire today on Pahrump's south side. Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue, Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies and auxiliary units were dispatched to a structure fire on Thousand Air and Money Street this morning. Upon arrival, they found a well-involved abandoned structure. Witnesses on scene say that they saw a juvenile ride away on a bike in the direction of Lakeside Casino shortly after the structure caught fire. Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue were able to extinguish the blaze. No injuries have been reported at this time. If you have any information, you're urged to contact the Nye County Sheriff's Office at 775-751-7000. You can remain anonymous. This is the second time that this structure has caught fire. This fire, as well as the previous fire, is suspicious in nature. The fire was contained to the area of origin. Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies and auxiliary units conducted traffic control around the blaze. Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue is conducting the investigation into the cause of the fire. And a wanted murder suspect who escaped from prison has been captured in the nick of time. Las Vegas Metro has captured wanted fugitive Porfirio Duarte Herrera, who has been taken into custody without incident by Las Vegas Metro Police Department patrol officers near Eastern and Owens in Las Vegas last night. The Department of Corrections discovered that the murder suspect was missing from the Indian Springs facility where he was serving a life sentence on Tuesday morning. They later discovered that he had actually been missing for several days. Sheriff Joe Lombardo held a press conference this morning. They also provided body cam footage of the actual capture of the bombing suspect when he was captured last night. He had killed a man in 2007 who was dating his then ex-lover and mother of his child. He had intended to kill her also, according to reports. This occurred in the parking garage of the Luxor Casino. The fugitive was attempting to leave on a bus headed for Tijuana when he was captured.
We are here to brief you on the arrest of Porfirio Duarte Herrera, who was taken into custody last night by our patrol officers near Eastern and Owens. He is currently in custody at the Clark County Detention Center. There is no doubt this man was a danger to our community. He was serving a life sentence for murder after planting a pipe bomb in a coffee cup in 2007. And I'm sure you are fully aware through your own research the circumstances of that event. It was an extremely calculated and cold-blooded homicide. He had been on the run since Friday, September 23rd. Like everyone else, we learned on Tuesday, the 27th, about his escape from the Southern Nevada Correctional Center. We immediately disseminated his picture and asked our officers to be on the lookout. Because desperate people do desperate things, we were concerned about threats to the public and the people who were involved in the initial case. Additionally, we were concerned about our officers stumbling upon him in their day-to-day activities. When we have a critical incident, LVMPD enacts major case protocol to maximize our investigative efforts. It has helped solve urgent, high-profile cases here in Clark County. As you're fully aware of the issue with reporter Gehrman, where we initiated the major case protocol as little as a couple weeks ago. Hours after we learned of the escape, LVMPD partnered with other law enforcement agencies, namely the U.S. Marshal and the FBI, to bring the full force of our resources into this investigation. The important piece on this is teamwork. And I want everybody here in the audience to be fully aware of the law enforcement community here in the Las Vegas Valley, to include the state of Nevada, that teamwork is critical for us to be successful in what we deal with on a daily basis.
Federal authorities offered a combined $30,000 reward for information leading to the capture. A tip was called in that the escapee was at the bus depot.
Ultimately, though, the biggest point that I want to say is that it's the work of the media and the public that brought this individual into custody. So without a doubt, he is headed back to where he needs to be. And I was asked a lot of questions over the last couple of days about where would we go? Well, we would continue to pursue him any place and any time. So we really want to thank everybody for all the work we've done.
So the FBI yesterday offered a reward of up to $25,000 for information that resulted in the capture or location of Mr. Duarte Herrera. In this case, as LVMPD noted, we had at least one reporting party that had contacted law enforcement identifying his location. LVMPD had already put resources in the area, which is really encouraging to see. And so in this case, it's really an example of cooperation that within a little more than 24 hours, the subject was back in custody. You never know what tip is going to make the difference. And so really that partnership with law enforcement and the public, especially in the Las Vegas metropolitan area, where a concerned public is taking note, conscientious, wanting to do the right thing, somebody called, and that made all the difference in this case.
Good job. Well, we'll have more news on the other side of this break.
You're watching News 25, the most recognized and farthest reaching local news in Nye County. News 25, local news you can count on. This segment of News 25 is brought to you by Lisa Spahitz and Mike Plasmeyer at Country Financial Insurance. Auto, home, life, and commercial. 775-727-8920.
Welcome back to News 25. Well, agency biologists are excited to report increased numbers of one of the world's rarest fishes. Scientists counted 263 devil's hole pupfish, which is the most they've observed in 19 years. This count came in the heels of a magnitude 7.6 earthquake in Mexico that caused 4-foot waves in Devil's Hole on September 19th of this year. Pupfish are counted using both scuba and surface visual counters. Sloshing waves removed algae, invertebrates, and other organic matter from the shallow shelf that pupfish use to forage and spawn. This made it easier for biologists to see and count pupfish from the surface. Scientists use scuba also counted pupfish at greater depths. Devil's Hole pupfish live in the upper 80 feet of a deep water-filled cavern at sunlit shallow shelf at the cavern's entrance. That is, of course, in Ash Meadows, making this the smallest range of any vertebrate species on the planet. The official result, 263 observable pupfish, is the highest autumn count recorded since September of 2003. Before the 1990s, the population was around 400 to 500 pupfish in the fall. However, pupfish numbers have been especially low during the last 2 decades, averaging only 90 fish. The return to higher numbers of pupfish this time of year could signal important changes in the ecosystem. Other biologists on site noted fish appeared in remarkable condition and were very active. Many courting and spawning pairs of pupfish were seen during the count. Having more pupfish in Devil's Hole also affects the direction and focus of species recovery. This week's count continues an overall fall increase over the last 9 years from the all-time low of 35 fish. The next count, pupfish, occurs in spring of 2023. Well, a naked stroll through a hotel in Tonopah lands one man behind bars. Brad Francis has the Bear All tale.
Trevor Roth is under arrest and is now facing a charge of indecent, obscene exposure. His arrest comes after Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies are called to Tonopah Station on a report of a man refusing to leave the establishment. Officers first made contact with the front desk clerk, who told them a man who was naked from the waist down was walking around the hotel. She says she told him to leave, but instead he got onto an elevator and went to the second floor. That's where deputies found a man, later identified as Roth, wearing nothing but a black t-shirt. In their report, officers say he was not wearing pants or underwear and that his genitals were plainly visible for anybody to see. Deputies also say they observed several hotel guests on the first and second floors where Roth had been walking around. When officers asked Roth to step out of the elevator, they report he was highly intoxicated. The deputies say Roth told them he was staying in room 179. However, the hotel does not have a room 179. Officers walked Roth to the first floor and got him a towel to cover up. Roth was then placed under arrest and transported to the Tonopah Detention Center, where he was booked on one count of indecent exposure.
Well, as we head into this break, here's a word from one of our sponsors.
This Medical Minute is brought to you by Spring Mountain Medical, healthcare the way you've always imagined it.
Hi, I'm Dr. Leslie Denton with Spring Mountain Medical, your hometown health and wellness provider. Today, I'm going to talk about making the most out of your visit with your doctor. Do you feel confused or uncertain about how to improve your health after a visit with your doctor? Do you feel discouraged by the pace of your physical improvement? If so, don't despair. Understanding the diagnosis and treatment you get from your doctor is essential to feeling better and living a happy life. So here are 3 tips to help you make the most of your next doctor visit. 1. Bring a written list of questions about your treatment or medications to your visit. 2. Ask. Don't be embarrassed if you don't understand something or need us to explain something again. And 3. Note your progress, anything that interests you as you go through treatment. Our providers are motivated by our knowledge of how to make you well and coach you to your best health. Make an appointment with us today to feel your best. I'm Dr. Denton, and this has been a Medical Minute brought to you by Spring Mountain Medical.
You're watching News 25, brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500. Also brought to you by Silver State Health, Visit silverstatehealth.org or call 702-471-0420 for an appointment. News 25, local news you can count on.
This is one of my biggest problems, and I know Josh Osborne is here to help. Nearly everything we do online requires a password, but it can be tricky to manage all those letters and numbers. Today, Josh Osborne from Great Computer Deals here in Pahrump has some advice on how to best manage our passwords.
Hi guys, Josh Osborne here with Pahrump's own Great Computer Deals. It's time for another quick tutorial. Today's lesson, the most common issues we see at our computer repair center and how to avoid them, part 1. You think the biggest technology issue that's facing our customers this day and age would be their lack of computer knowledge. That's actually not the case at all. You'd be surprised to find that 50% of the problems that we help people solve are completely avoidable regardless of a customer's computer literacy. The issue that we're going to talk about today is a big one: forgotten passwords. A huge percentage of our customers come in with problems regarding passwords to their various online accounts, social media, email, more importantly, banking. The mistake is never with a website, app, or program, and is always the fault of the user. Why? The customer didn't take logging and organizing of their account and password information seriously enough. Most folks just assume they'll remember the details and take zero effort to properly record them. When they do, it's done poorly, written on a scrap of paper and sitting next to the desk, with no effort made to show whether a letter is uppercase or lowercase. So, how do we avoid this issue? Well, take password management seriously. Whenever a new online account is created, immediately and properly record that information. Download a phone app or computer program that helps make this task much easier. Stop by our store for some free suggestions. A handwritten note, no longer good enough, guys. Online accounts are extremely important and need to be treated as such. You guys still need help? No big deal. We're here to help. Come down to our store. We're located at 1190 East Highway 372, across the street from Pizza Hut, and in the same plaza as Game Corner, Arcade, and Fun Center. Or give us a call, 775-990-8833. We're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 3. Anyway, that's it for today's lesson. I'll see you guys on the next one.
News 25 Weather Cam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
I'm planning on spending a little bit of time outside this weekend. I wonder if you guys are. I wonder what John has in store for our weather. We're going to find out right after this.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Hi, good evening, Nevada. It's John Kohler from the KPVM Channel 25 Weather Studios, and we got a friendly little weather map to present to you tonight. Friendly Fallon, 82, 83 degrees. Carson City checking in at 83. 81 out in Tonopah. That's our cool spot this fine day. 83 out also in Goldfield. So those guys are marching along together. You get down to Beatty, now we're talking 92 degrees, sweating donkeys, the whole deal. Amargosa hit 97 today. That's the hot spot. And Vegas close behind it. 94. Ooh, I think we outpaced Vegas today. Mountain Death Valley, it's 109 degrees. Here in the Paradise of Pahrump, let's take a look. Current temperature, 93 degrees. Yeah, look at us. We hit a high of 95 today. Pretty good, Pahrump. South-southwesterly winds to 12 miles per hour. The sun rose this morning at 6:37. Looking forward to it setting this evening at 6:30. Lots of dark to enjoy as we head to our low tonight of 66 degrees. And boy, that's just coming earlier and earlier. East-southeasterly winds of 9 miles per hour. And humidity at 27%. Does it smell like clouds? No, I don't think it does. Look at this. It's coming at us with sunshine for the next 5 days. Temperatures in the low 90s. Winds around 10 miles per hour. Oh, it's going to be a gorgeous weekend and beyond if you want to keep celebrating. I mean, the weekend could never end. It's up to you. Wednesday, Thursday, sunshine mostly. A little bit of clouds. I don't think that's turning into rain, but we'll keep an eye on it, let you know if anything runs amok. But in the meantime, just plan for a great weekend, all right? Back to the desk. Here's Deanna.
All right, thanks so much, John. And don't forget that Remote Area Medical is happening this weekend. Of course, it's going to be over there on the Pathways campus. You can find out more information by going to remoteareamedical.org online. Of course, we'll give you more information on tomorrow night's broadcast. It is going to be happening Friday and Saturday and Sunday right there on the campus, right next to Pahrump Valley High School on the corner of Mount Charleston and Calvada Boulevard. Well, that's going to wrap up this edition of News 25. I'm Deanna O'Donnell. From all of us up here on the Hill at KPVM TV and Ace Country Radio, have a great night.